character is why I liked him. On a special day, this time it'll be back to its usual day, Thursdays, next week. But I'm here to talk about a character that I really loved during the 90s and all the way up to the reluctant end of the character in 2001. And the character, as you can see, was portrayed by Miss Lucy Lawless. And that's right, people. I'm talking about Xena, Warrior Princess. Silence, people. Yes, there was some silence because I don't want to geek out too much. But my God, if you weren't a fan of the 1 hour action adventure shows back in the 90s, I don't know what your problem is, because one of those shows, yes, was Xena. Xena was predominantly a spin-off from Hercules: The Legendary Journeys that starred Kevin Sorbo. Like I said, the show ran from 1995 to 2001, so a good 6 seasons it ran. It had over 100 episodes, 134, and it followed Xena, who is this great warrior. Pretty much, she's Wonder Woman. Let's just put it like that. But she is trying to change her life and redeem herself from past sins that she did when she was a warlord. Now, the character Xena first appeared in Hercules, like I said, and it was a 3-part episode where she appeared in. And I remember because in the 3rd episode she was supposed to die, but they saw that her character was so successful, that they said, let's make a spin-off. The producers of the show, Rob Tapper, who would write and direct some of the episodes. Robert Tapper is actually Lucy Lawless's husband in reality, and it also later on Sam Raimi came on to be executive producer in the show as well. Xena definitely. First of all, gotta say, give Miss Lucy Lawless all the credit in the world. That woman played the hell out of this role so well, so good. You know, I can see why during that time people were saying she is going to take over the realm of Wonder Woman from Linda Carter, because nobody's ever taken that role from her. And she would have been everybody's choice, because Lucy Lawless is very tall. She can get into shape. She loves the physical attributes of performing. And that was just how she was with Xena. Now, Xena's character, on the other hand, like I said, I love characters that, come from a bad situation and they're trying to redeem themselves. They're on a road to redemption. I like that. Now that may sound corny to you guys, but I appreciate that, because sometimes you don't always want to stay that way. You don't want to be remembered for your past sins. And let's face it, Xena's past sins, she killed a lot of people as a warlord. So she tried to change her life. And thanks to Hercules, she pretty much did. In the show, she would be accompanied by her longtime ally, sidekick, Gabrielle, played by Renee O'Connor. And talk about character development and furthering character. Gabrielle went from this peak little town girl to an Amazon queen to just all around just a good around character that you always wanted to see with Xena. At first, maybe she came off kind of like ditzy, but then later on, her character just flourished. And the same thing with Xena. Her character just kept growing and growing and growing. I love the spin-offs when they had Xena and Hercules team up. I loved all those crossover episodes. And then I loved seeing episodes where they delved deeper into Xena's past. where they talk about where she had her first child. They talk about where she learned her famous pinch. That she had a pinch, like a nerve pinch, where she would cut the flow of blood to your brain, and she would use that. Pretty much, that would be her ways of interrogating people if they didn't tell her what she wanted. Now, not only that, she could use it anywhere. She would apply it to your neck near your carotid artery. That's the basically, but she could also apply it on legs and things like that, just to, if like she like there was times where a lot of her allies would like have broken legs, and when they would try to set the bone back in place, she would apply the pinch just to kind of keep the pressure, or don't want to feel too much pain. Xena was just very much a badass when it came to fighting. She had her famous war cry, and I'm not gonna try it, people, so don't ask me to do that. It was always a blast to see her get down and gritty. Her rogues gallery wasn't big, but she had a main adversary in there that would become probably one of the greatest villains of the apply between Hercules and Xena, and that was Callisto. Callisto was played by Hudson Leach, and man, did she come off really good. Xena would travel all over Greece, and she would, just, help out wherever she could. And, a lot of people remembered her from being this dominant, warlord that burnt villages and things like that in the name of Ares. Ares played a big role in her development as well. Ares was played by Kevin Smith, not Kevin Smith, the director, and Jay and Silent Bob Kevin Smith. There was another actor named Kevin Smith, God rest his soul, he passed away. But she really played it off really well. I loved seeing Lucy just do her thing as Xena, and she played it so well. It was just always fun. Over the years, Xena would really flourish. She had, and of course, I can't forget her famous weapon, the chakram. It was pretty much a discus that she would throw, and it would bounce off, ricochet off of things, and bounce back to her, and she would catch it. Pretty much like Cap's shield, pretty much. Later on in the season, it got upgraded where it could detach into two pieces, and she could use it. She can throw it like that. That was always cool. Another thing that was always cool is that they really kind of branched out Xena more. Xena, in terms, was a little bit more darker than Hercules. When she would kill somebody, she would kill people. She didn't like to do it. Every time she killed somebody, there was like almost this look of like, why did you make me do this, on her face. There were times where it looked like she's the one that took the blow, but it's the other way around. Her past is very dark, and when it was kind of crazy because during, I think, the 5th or 4th season, they really started to get more into Christianity and things like that, with angels and demons. And at one point, Xena and Gabrielle died. They were crucified, and they went to heaven, and they became archangels. And Callisto was a demon that came up from hell and brought. It was a great epic battle between heaven and earth. When they were brought back to life, they had a second chance at life, pretty much. And then once again, they didn't die, but they went into a very deep coma sleep, and they I think they lasted like 6 years or so into the future, and everything had changed between them. She had a famous horse as well, Argo. Argo was her famous horse. That was her loyal horse she would always ride. Argo was a very, very, very intelligent horse. She was very intelligent. Like, she would not let anybody else ride her at all. Xena just really had an arsenal of weapons that she could use. Like she had a whip. She of course she had her sword, and she was able to use other weapons as well. But I love seeing that the season would flourish, and like the girls would travel all over, and just not in ancient Greece. Like they went to ancient India and things like that. So they really got into the Hindu gods, and it really got good. But uh, unfortunately, I'm gonna get to the end later. But later on, Xena had another child. She had another child named Eve, and the Greek gods fated that Eve was going to be the twilight of the gods. We're gonna be her downfall. So all the Olympians were coming after Xena and Eve to kill her, kill their baby, and she got it from basically divine intervention. Callisto, who finally found peace, became an angel, blessed Xena with another child, and it was cool because a lot of people were thinking that it was Hercules' baby, but it wasn't. And later on, Hercules did guest star on an episode when his show wrapped up, and he fought the Olympians as well. He actually even killed Zeus to protect Xena's baby. And later on, Athena took over leadership of the Olympians, and she just plagued Xena's village and her mother and everything like that, till Xena had the abilities to kill gods. And she nearly wiped out the entire Olympians except for, I think, about two of them. Ares. Ares gave up his godhood to save Eve and Gabrielle, and she left Aphrodite's alive. That was the other goddess she left alive. But she nearly wiped out. She killed Hades. She killed Poseidon. She killed Athena. She killed Artemis. She killed a lot of, pretty much. She went pretty much before Kratos started doing it. She did it first in a way. That was the fifth season where that happened. The sixth season took place 6 years in the future, and Eve. That's where a lot of characters started to die, like Joxer. He died, which I know a lot of people were happy about that. And pretty much the sixth season was where Xena died. I knew they were not going to end her series on a happy ending like they ended Hercules, where we saw Herc and his best friend Aeolus walking in the sunset. Basically, Xena traveled to Japan. She had ties to Japan, and pretty much she died there. Got her head chopped off, basically, and it just really was bad to see. But she was still a spirit, and she traveled with Gabrielle. The show really had, Xena just really had a big following, not just with girls, but a lot of men, and of course the gay community, because it was always played up, with Xena and Gabrielle more than just friends or not. But it was really good. I love Xena so much. Like I said, thank you to Miss Lucy Lawless for playing the role so well and still being remembered to this day. Because I remember in many interviews where she was supposed to be basically advertising other shows like Spartacus that she's on now, people always come up to her and say, I loved you on Xena. Nobody's ever going to forget her on Xena. And it's good to know that. And she's happy to know that, she played a big role and a big following. Like I said, Xena pretty much was Wonder Woman in a way. Just more badass and willing to kill more often. And I went on and on about it, but what do you guys think? What did you guys think about Xena, Warrior Princess? Did you love her? Did you think she was cool? I like to hear what your input, guys, on this. So other than that, this is Mumford and Kid saying peace, one love. Stay tuned, guys. for the next installment.